Good evening. Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing tonight? Let me know if you're here and if you can hear me okay. I'm going to hang on for another minute because we're almost at 8 o'clock. I see a few people coming in already. Hello, hello, friends. Who's ready for some mushroom fun? Hi, Shannon. Hey, Darren. Okay, so since the Smiths are here, I want to know who came up with That's What Friends Are Spore. Because all afternoon in my head, I've been singing, That's What Friends Are Spore. I'm like a big fan of puns, and I love this so much. I think it's so cute. I've been having so much fun with these mushrooms. I can't get enough. I knew it. Darren, are you messing with me? You're not messing with me, are you? Because literally, when I read that, I was like, that has to be Darren. I knew it. I knew it. Well, let me shut my sound on my phone so we're not bothered. Hi, Tina. Tina, how are you? How have you been? Hello. Hi, everybody. So much exciting stuff. Today was a really exciting day in Brutus Monroe World. Did everybody catch the spring release? It was so much fun. There was just so much going on today. It was awesome. I'm glad to hear that, Tina. That is great. So I'm going to get started because it's 8 o'clock and I'm really excited. And my kids have a snow day tomorrow. So I know it's not going to be long before I hear the pitter patter of you-know-who wanting to hang out. And I'm ready to roll. So I'm going to dive right in. We'll get back to talking about the spring release in a little bit. Let me get myself going here. Tonight, I am working with my favorites. I'm like, I know I say that with everything, and then I say that every time too. But these mushroom the mushroom stamps, oh my gosh, I love them so much. I have made so many cards, and unfortunately, I didn't even think to grab some of them so I could show you guys. Let me just check my pouch. I don't think I have any of my mushroom stamps. No, you want to know why? Because a few of them I love so much that I have them up in my kitchen on my little tiered tray because I've been having so much fun with the mushrooms. So tonight we're going to make a floating card. And if you guys don't know what that is, I'm going to show you. And we're going to use Mushroom Garden, and That's What Friends Are Spore, which is the stamp of the month. So let's get started. We're going to use Chroma Mist. I'm really excited about that. I have been doing some stuff with Chroma Mist and just finding it a really fun and easy way to color my images when I'm not in a coloring mood, because I love my alcohol markers and I do love to color, but sometimes I just want to be more about creating the card than spending the time on coloring. So I've been experimenting a lot with Chroma Mist and spraying my paper and then stamping my images on what I've sprayed. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Hi, Carol. So I'm going to start off with, this is, I'm actually using Bristol because I ran out of aqua pigment paper and currently have some in my shopping cart. So you can use aqua pigment. I do recommend the aqua pigment paper or Bristol. I'll show you guys in a little bit why. It's a heavier paper. It holds water well. It's great. The aqua pigment paper is great for using aqua pigments, Chroma Mists, wet stuff like that. So I am going to create a rainbow tie-dye effect, which I just thought would be really fun. And I have to be honest, I've been crazy with the neon sprays, so I forced myself tonight to not use the neon sprays. So I want to make like a tie-dye blend of colors to put my mushrooms on. So the first thing I'm going to do with my paper is I see a little lip. Let me just flip that over. I'm going to spritz with water because I want everything to run together. I want all my colors to blend. So I'm just going to go in rainbow order, and I'm just going to do spritz. Now, another reason why I like doing water first. Sometimes if my nozzles get clogged and I get more of a squirt than a spritz, then if the paper is already wet, I don't have to really worry about that. My colors will blend. So like this. See, my green for some reason is probably clogged. So I've got more of a squirt than a spritz, if that makes sense. So with the water down first, it allows those colors to just blend, which is what I want. So I'm just going in order, rainbow order, with all my different Chroma Mist colors. Look at how pretty and bright that is. Okay. The last one is pink. And then I even go back with some more water. I like to get the water droplets on there. I think that just gives it a cool effect. And I'll do a little tilt, right? I'll do a little back and forth, let my colors run together. You guys can see how pretty that is. I got to move over. Sorry, I just realized I'm a little crooked. Okay. And then what I generally do is I take my pokey tool and I'll hold this down because the colors will start to pool around the edges, but that's okay. And then I'm going to take my heat gun and I'm going to hit this with some heat. And then we're going to end up with this. Okay. Now, this is where I want to show you the difference. So this was done on the watercolor paper. This, just out of curiosity, I tried this on Perfect Blend. And you can see the difference. It's definitely more muted. So that's just something to keep in mind. And that's something that I've experimented a lot with Chroma Mists. And one of my favorite things that I love about them, because depending on what type of paper you put them on and whether or not you use water first or not, you can get so many different effects. So just something to keep in mind. I did spend an afternoon a while ago, probably 1 or 2 design team terms ago, just experimenting on different papers. The only thing I haven't tried yet is Yupo or glossy paper, and I'm not sure since those papers are non-porous. I don't know how that would work, but I'm going to have to give it a try. So now we have our paper. This is dry, and I'm going to start with my mushroom stamps, and all I want is a whole bunch of mushrooms. I'm going to fill the whole background of my card with mushrooms, and we're going to make them float. So I love these areas where the colors blend together and you get these neat bursting effects and where you have these splatters. So what I do is I'm going to take my mushrooms and I'm just going to lay them all down in different spots. Let's make sure I don't lose my sentiment because we're going to use that. Okay, so I'm going to kind of put this guy so I get all of those colors blending on one. And I'm using both sets tonight. And if you'll notice, I think this is kind of cool. So the stamp of the month is a bigger version of one of our mushrooms on this set, which is so cool. And see, if you look, we've got all these different tones in here, right? So I can position my stamps. So now the top of that mushroom is going to be a lighter color, and I'll get some of the other colors blended in there. And then we have this kind of it almost looks like, it reminds me of like pointillism, like a pointillism painting, but that's really pretty in there. So I can lay this mushroom right on there, and we'll get that shape. And I'm just going to fill my whole card. And some of them I'm going to turn them upside down to get different tones. We'll move this guy in here. So then when this is stamped out, we'll have green on the top and it'll be a little lighter towards the mushroom stems. This one is good. This is a pretty big cluster. I'm going to put this here. And then I'm going to kind of get from side to side, the pink, the purple, the blue. And it's great because you can pick up all these different colors. And you saw how quick it was for me to make this rainbow background, right? That was 1, 2, 3. And yeah, I did have this one set aside, but it would have only taken a couple of minutes to dry with my heat gun. I just did that ahead of time, so y'all didn't have to sit here and watch me dry the paper. In here, there's a lot of just see those blends, and that reminds me of like the sunset sky when you see like those kind of striations. So I'm going to put this mushroom on there. So I'll get some of those on that mushroom. So these mushrooms are going to look really cool. You know, and this is something you can do with anything, with any stamps, right? With the donuts, any kind of flowers. I mean, this is a beautiful technique to do for flowers, and you don't have to spray just in rainbows or stripes. You can spray a circle and then spray another color around it. So think if you did like maybe an orange and then a red around it, and you put the water first so that they all kind of blended, right? And then put a big flower stamp over it. How cool would that be? Hi, Amy. How are you? So I've got all my mushroom stamps down, and super simple. We're just going to stamp them out. Now, this is this paper. It's thick paper. It has a little bit of a texture. So normally I would ink up my ink pad first just to make sure it's nice and juicy. And let me just grab that. Let's go ahead and do that so we know we're good with that. Okay, got my Raven ink. How you doing, Amy? How's everybody else doing tonight? Anybody else dealing with the snow? Can I show you guys? I got to show you guys something so cute. Around 6:30, and my dog, she's obsessed with the snow. So this was my dog outside going crazy right as the snow started to fall. So that was at our back deck, and I told my husband before, I said, don't let her go out on the side until I'm finished and I can come watch, because she will literally just run and dive her face into the snow. It's hysterical. I think she has more fun than the kids. So yeah, so the kids have a snow day tomorrow. That'll be fun. Lily's planning on baking some dog treats. I'll be working, but that's okay. I don't have to get up early, so I don't mind. We didn't really have a whole lot of snow. We usually average between like 6 and 8 snow days, and the kids have only had 1 this year. So we were kind of due. Okay, so I inked up my ink pad. Just sandstorms. I know, Darren, I saw those pictures. That's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So inking up my mushrooms. And then, of course, we're going to be cutting all these out. Okay. Now, it's probably going to take a couple of times with the ink because, like I said, it's pretty thick paper. And then once all these mushrooms are stamped, I'm going to move them and I'm going to fill in because I know that I'm going to need more, because I'm going to fill an entire background of a card with all these mushrooms. So you see those mushrooms coming to life, right? Isn't that neat? Make sure I got them. I'm going to move this. Let's get the ones on the bottom. I'm excited for this one, Shannon. I love this. I love this technique, stamping on the sprayed backgrounds. And I think the most fun is once the background is sprayed, just looking for those little nuances on the page, you know, anywhere where like there's blends or bursts or anything like that. So I'm going to just get this down on the bottom once again. Carol says the kids don't get snow days here. Yeah, because they would never be in school. You've probably had snow since August. What's your weather like these days, Carol? If I remember correctly, when I spoke to you like in the fall, you were already like in the 30s, right? Okay. So then I want to use up some of these spaces. So let me grab my squeaky clean. So then I would just start moving some more mushrooms around and just picking up more colors, more blends, whether I want it to blend top to bottom, left to right, however I want it, right? I can fill them in just to get more mushrooms. We can go there and there. I can put one of these little guys up here. That's probably good. Let me put these guys back on my thing over here. But we do get ski days. What's a ski day? I mean, I know what like ski day is, but is it like, hey, you don't have to go to school today so you can go skiing? And is there like a certain amount of snow you have to get before it's a ski day? The good news for me and the kids, I guess, is my husband is home. So they'll be able to go out and have lots of fun. There's a big hill down the road from us. So a lot of the neighborhood kids will go out, which is fun. So it'll be good. Okay, so I'm going to use up any space I have on here, right? Because I don't want to waste any of that beautiful color. So I'm going to fill in. And if I wanted to, I could even use the little grass or the little stems and fill them in. But tonight, I'm going straight up mushrooms. Because I do love mushrooms, truth be told. Okay. So once my page is filled up with all my nice inked mushrooms, let me clean these guys off. And now I always just hit this with the heat gun, just to make sure that my ink is dry, because this paper is heavy and porous, and I just always worry about smearing it. And so I would just hit this with the heat gun. And then we're going to cut all the mushrooms out. So let me go ahead and cut all the mushrooms out. Ta-da! So this is what we get. We've got lots of rainbow mushrooms that I went ahead and stamped and cut out earlier so that you all didn't have to watch me do this. So, you know, we've got some repeats of the images, but I tried to do them in different colors. So you can see all the different, you know what? I think I gotta move over. Sorry if I'm making you guys a little dizzy. I feel like I was like off to the side. Oh, hey, Lily. Okay, so we've got all our mushrooms now. Now I'm going to take a piece of cardstock. Now this cardstock is slightly bigger than a card base. So we know a card base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, right? So this is like 4 1/2 by 5 3/4. It's just a 1/4 of an inch bigger in both directions, because I'm going to die cut this when we're finished, and I want my mushrooms to go off the edges. So all I'm going to start doing is I'm going to fill in my mushrooms. Now I do plan on a circle in the center with a sentiment, so I'm not worried about that right now. So I'm just going to kind of work outward, and you know, we can put our mushrooms in all different directions. But now I just want to fill this background piece in as best as I can. Try and get different variations of my colors. And I'm just sort of going to kind of go a little willy-nilly with all my different images and fill this in. This is probably, if I'm being honest right now, is probably the hardest part, most difficult, and it's really not even difficult. It's just making sure that we've got enough images to fill everything. I'm trying to be a little mindful of where I'm putting my images so that I'm not putting like two of the same images right near each other or the same colors too close together. Just getting the variation of everything. You see how bright that is? Isn't that awesome? That's Chroma Mists. That crazy bright color. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Okay, let's see. We'll put these little guys up here. Maybe we'll go sideways with that. And let me get one of these bigger ones in here. And it's okay if it goes off the edges a little bit because we're going to be trimming it anyway. Put these guys down here. And it's always good with this too, I think, to just take a step back, look at your image, kind of do a squint to see if like you have a lot of the same color in one section. Like right here, this kind of looks a little bit too close. Like we have a lot of green here and a lot of red here. So I'm going to switch these two. And this is also one of those things like you guys have seen me when I'm putting embellishments on and I'm like, oh God, step away. Somebody make me step away, right? Eventually I just have to stop. Just stop. And I do want some stuff on the edges because we are going to want to create an edge, a visual edge anyway. And you guys will see what I mean after when we do our cutting. Now I'm going to take some of these little guys and I'm going to fill in some spaces. Let's see what I can. Lots and lots of mushrooms. Right? Everybody with me so far? Anybody have any questions? I know this probably seems a little confusing, but it'll all come together soon. I'm like drooling over these colors. I love them so much. Okay, let's see. I want to make sure I've got a lot of my edges covered. So I think I might flip this one upside down. And then I'm going to put this one in here. Okay. I think we need something a little bit more in here. Let's try. Let's see. Turn this. And then we got to go this way. It's kind of like a puzzle. A little bit. Eventually, I feel like it all just kind of falls into place. You're moving and moving, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, there we go. I hope anyway, right? Okay. And I also don't want any of my mushrooms to touch. That's another important thing there. Okay. I think that we're about good. Now, I am going to die cut a circle out of the center later on. So I'm going to take my circle. I'm going to use the two smallest ones. So this is going to be what's going to, whoops. Well, my dad's calling. Okay. So this is going to be my circle, and probably about midway. So it's going to be right there. So that tells me, oh, no problem, Amy. Oh, enjoy. I will talk to you soon, my dear. So I'm probably going to put my circle right about there. So I'm going to move these. And at this point, I'm going to grab my tweezers because I feel like I'm bumping things around. So I want to move this guy. I'm going to put him like this. Let's see. Right, because my circle is going to be right about there. So I want to make sure that my other spaces are filled in. So let's see. Let's turn this guy. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, we are going to need a lot of foam adhesive for this technique. That is one thing you will definitely need a lot of. Okay, I know this is so boring right now, but I promise you it's going to be really cool. I'm just worried about this empty little spot right there. So let's see. Okay, I promise I'm going to stop soon. But it's going to look so cool, it'll all be worth it. Okay, so now just remember when you're doing this type of technique, the less white space you see, the better it's going to look in the end. And like I said, when we finish this up, it will all kind of come together and you guys will see what I'm talking about. So I think that we're pretty good. The thing I'm thinking about is just, yeah, that might be a better space filler. Okay. Okay. There we go. Right? How's that look? I don't see any huge white spaces sticking out. Right? Looks like we've got good coverage on everything. So now we've got everything in place. Almost. I don't want any of my images touching. Very little white space. I'm happy with the way the colors are. We've got yeah, we'll leave that how it is. We've got one guy left over here. Now I'm going to take a piece of press and seal. So bear with me while I find the end of my press and seal and make sure I get a big enough piece. Okay. So now I'm going to just lay my press and seal down. So oh boy. All right. I lost it right there. But I think we're going to be okay. Okay. Now, I'm not going to push real hard. I'm just going gentle enough so that I'm going to pick up all of my images on the press and seal, and they're going to stay the way that I had them. Okay. Let's do this. Let's flip this over. And then we can pick up our piece right there. So now we have our images down. Okay. Everybody with me so far? We should be, yeah. So we're all on there. I'm gonna move. I just saw one that was touching right here. I'm gonna move this guy over a little bit. So here you can adjust anything that's moved. All right, I see a little, these guys are sticking together a little bit. So I'm just gonna move that. Okay. Good, good, good. All right. Now, just want to cut off this extra press and seal just so I don't have to deal with it because, you know, it's similar to like cling wrap. See, it kind of sticks to everything and it'll be driving me nuts. So I'm just going to get that extra off. And we'll do the same over here. All right. Now, I'm going to grab my die cut machine. Normally I die cut off camera, but I want everybody to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go grab my machine and I'm going to set it down right here on my table. Okay. Hopefully I didn't make this too wide. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to set up is the outer edge. So now, whoops, sorry, I just found another one that I just saw another one over here that's touching. Make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to move these guys because some of these might have shifted a little bit. Okay, now I have a rectangle die that is the size of an A2 card base. So I'm going to use my rectangle die. That just makes it easier. If you don't have a card base shaped die, you're going to skip this step and you're going to go to the step later on, which I will show you. I just want to flip this over. You guys will, again, you'll see what I mean later on. So I happen to have a rectangle die that is card base size. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. Just make sure that this is flat. Okay, so this is going to be, just got a glue dot on there. Sorry, there's some glue on my die. Okay, so I'm just going to set this how I want my card to be. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. And then my circles. So I'm going to have a small circle in the center that's going to be white. That's going to have my sentiment stamped on it. So I want to cut out a little bit of a bigger shape. So that looks about centered. That's going to be the makeup of my card. So we're going to go ahead and run that through. And I'm going to hold my breath. Okay. Take this off. Okay. Ah! Oh my goodness. Woo! Lots of faux pas tonight. I got sticky fingers. Okay. Let me get this up and move this out of the way. Okay. Grab my tweezers. I'm going to pull my center out. That's where my sentiment's going to go. And I'm going to pull my edges off. All right. And this is just garbage, right? So I've got my card base. It's going to be that. And I think I'm trying to decide if I want to go right on my card or I want to go on a card base. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to die cut this as well, and we'll match those up. So let's get this off. But right now I want all my mushrooms to stay on my press and seal. We got some little tiny pieces there that I will probably just take off because those are a little bit too small. So I'm going to set this aside, and I want to go ahead and die cut this. So let me go get my machine that just fell on the floor. Okay, so we'll put this in. Everybody's quiet tonight. You are, Tina? Oh, good. I'm glad you said that because I think I was getting a little bit nervous. Right? It seems a little bit tedious, but it's really not. Once you do it once or twice, it requires a little bit of planning ahead. But it's a pretty neat technique. And there's definitely some really cool variations that can be done with it. Okay. So let me set that aside. Let's get this out of the way. Oh, you know what I'm going to do while I have this out? Let me cut my circle for our sentiment, which is stuck to the magnet that I cannot get off. Okay, there we go. Got my small circle. And this sentiment, I made sure to pick a small one because it has to be that's what friends are for. That's what friends are for. My kids hate when I do that. They always want to know, why do I have a song for everything that they say? And it's true. I can't help it. Like, they say something and then I have to sing it. Okay, I'm going to set my circle aside. In good times and bad times. Okay, I'll stop. I can't help it. It's stuck in my head. Okay, now got our mushrooms. So this is going to fit nicely on here. So now here comes a little bit of a tedious part. This is where all the foam adhesive comes in. So all of these are going to have to be popped. So let's get popping. So while we're popping, let's go back to the spring release. For those of you that caught the spring release today, and first of all, I just want to say, let me say this. How cool was the video and then the live, and then we got a little bit of Chris, we got a little bit of Heather, right? Was that not so cool today? I was very excited. There was a lot of really, really fun stuff in the spring release. And I will be honest with you guys, as I always am, I'm not like a big flower person. Sometimes I find stuff and I'm like, well, I will tell you, oh my gosh, Christopher's garden party, when he showed the sneak peek of the stamp set, that one definitely kind of caught me. That one is beautiful. But going back to the spring release, not being a huge flower person, I think that spring release had something for everyone. There was just so much fun stuff. The stencils were so cool. That up close leaf stencil, did you guys see that? It was awesome. Really, really awesome. It was definitely a pretty fabulous release. There was a lot of cool stuff. The cover plates, oh, so cool. And I saw those cover plates that some of the designers used on like the metallic paper. Oh my God, I got to try that because that looked really cool. So these little teeny tiny pieces right here, yeah, I'm not having it. That they're just too small. And the whole idea is to just get the idea of the circle, which we're getting on these bigger pieces. So I'm not going to bother with trying to pop those little guys. Hi, Donna. How's it going? We're making a floating mushroom card. I said to my husband, I wish I had like a long sleeve tie-dyed shirt that I could wear to go with this, but everything I had was short sleeve. We love tie-dye in this house. Oh my gosh, Darren. Seriously, they're so unique. That's what I love. I love the uniqueness. Listen, guys, we all know there's so many craft companies out there, and in my opinion, some stuff sort of gets a little bit redundant, but that's one of my favorite things about Brutus Monroe. I feel like there's always something fresh and new. There's always something different that's not out there, and those stencils definitely were that. The leaf one, the two that I got to work with were the up close leaf and the flowering vine, I think it was called. Oh man, it's the up close leaf was just so cool. So cool. And the flowering vine, it's like the easiest thing to make cards with those stencils, right? Lots of fun. Lots and lots of fun. Oh, Donna, I am glad to hear that. Right, Tina, that's what I'm talking about, the up close leaf stencil. It's awesome. And there are so many cool things done with the design team. I had even done one where on white paper, I embossed it with clear and then sprayed, and oh my God, it came out so cool. Okay, so like I said, I warned you guys there was going to be a lot of pop dots. Lots and lots of pop dots, but this is going to look really cool when we're done. And once we're finished with this, we're pretty much done with the card because there's not much more to it. I spent a lot of time cutting mushrooms today. I told my husband, look, I'm like you, cutting the mushrooms. My husband made mushrooms. It was so funny. He was cooking mushrooms last night, and before he even started cooking them, he was, I mean, he is like kind of right at the top of the stairs in the kitchen, and I could smell them. I could smell the mushrooms, and I'm like, oh man, he's cooking mushrooms. And whenever he cooks mushrooms, he always brings me like a handful of raw mushrooms because I love raw mushrooms. So I smelt the mushrooms, and I was just about to say, hey, are you cooking mushrooms? And all of a sudden I heard him coming down the stairs, and he just drops this pile of fresh cut mushrooms on my desk. I was like, yes. I really do love mushrooms. So now you know why I love these stamps so much. All right, we're almost there, folks. We're almost there. Using lots of foam adhesive. That is okay. Let's see. I think I'm going to have to cut something for this one, for these small sections. Absolutely. He's so good. He is very good to me. He texted me this afternoon and he said, are you hungry? And I was like, I'm always hungry. So I will share with you all. My husband, unfortunately, not fortunately, as you all know, he's a chef, but unfortunately, he has been unemployed since October. So if anybody knows of an opening for an executive chef in the Northwest New Jersey area, let me know. My husband he was a restaurant chef when we met. He worked at an Italian restaurant. And then when our relationship got serious and he knew that he was going to want to have a family one day, he switched to, oop, that one stuck right to me. Look at that. he switched to corporate dining. So that's more of a 9 to 5 schedule, weekends and holidays off, that sort of thing. Um, and then right before the C word, he went into healthcare and he was a chef at an assisted living home, and he really loved that. Um, he loved getting to know the residents, and that was really, really amazing. During a lockdown, we made a whole bunch of cards and sent them in because all of the residents, they had to stay in their rooms and the food was getting delivered. So I made 85 cards. Well, Shannon, we don't want to go back into the restaurant business. That's the bad thing. Right now, there are a ton of restaurant jobs, but we just, that's a really, really hard life, especially when you have kids. So that's why he's trying to stick to corporate dining. Plus, if he were to go back into the restaurant business, I wouldn't really be able to work full time. Because, we have 2 kids and they're still young, and there's lots of practices and dance classes and all that stuff. So somebody's got to be around to do all that. Okay, so now I'm just filling in some of the smaller spots. Like I said, we're not going to bother with those 2 because they're definitely way too tiny, but we'll still get the circle effect right here. Corporate in Lubbock. Then we would be crafting together all the time, Shannon. All the time. Okay. Let's see. I'm just looking for any other spot that I think things might get a little wobbly because we want all of this to hold up. I'm going to get these stems because... Okay. And I'm sorry. This part I know is very boring. Hopefully my stories are a little more entertaining than watching me put Pop-Tarts on this. Okay. I see one more little spot I want to get right in there. I thought for sure that we would have had a visitor come down tonight, but I think my kids are definitely taking advantage of the not having to go to bed for school night, and that's okay. All right. Get one more in this spot and then one more on the side, and we are good to go. Okay, so right here is the last one. Now, I think this is going to be my card base, and that's my card panel. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put my card base onto my panel first. Whoopsie. Oh, God. Oh, gosh. Not again. Come on, Gina. Get with it. Get some glue. Lily's been doing some cool stuff. My friend Donna got her this thing called, I want to say Kiwi Crate. Have you guys ever heard of that? It's like a monthly subscription. And like, so she gets this box in the mail, and it's like a kid-friendly craft. But the cool thing is it gives you like step-by-step color instructions, but there's a video on YouTube. So she can just go watch the video and pause it as she needs to. And it's like really cool. The first thing she made was this like leather portfolio, and it came with a like a sketchbook notebook type thing. I was just checking to see, but I think she must have it in her room. And it was really beautiful. And she had to like sew it together. And then it had all these colorful brads to decorate the front with. It was a really cool thing. Okay, so I put that on. So I've got my stitching. So now I'm going to take this and let's make sure I've got it the right way because, yep, I've done that. And now I'm going to carefully, don't sneeze, I'm going to set that down like that. Okay. And now we're going to peel this stuff off very gently, just in case, because I have gotten overzealous in the past doing this and got excited and pulled it right off and ripped the paper. So I'm going to go gentle. I'm going to turn this way so that you guys can see what I'm doing. Now, if you don't want to go through all the trouble, right, you don't have to pop them. You can just glue them down. Popping them definitely gives it a cool effect. Now, this is the part where I said if you don't have the die cut, that's an A2 size, what you would have done is you would not have die cut out the rectangle. You would have left it, popped what you had, put it on here, right? And then, so let's say you didn't have the die and you did all your pop dots and you put it on the front of the card. You would just trim around the edges of your card, trim your excess off. So don't worry if you want to try this, but you don't have the A2 size die, you don't need it. You would have just stuck this down with the entire mushrooms and then just take your big scissors and go around the edges of the card and cut your excess off. I just did that because I liked the stitch die. I felt that it kind of defined the edges a little bit more. So hopefully you guys can see, you know, the cool effect is when like the shadows are cast. Oh, hey, Jenny. How's it going? Oh, no worries. Oh, hi, Donna. Hello, hello. So now we're going to put, this is going to be in the center. We're going to pop that also. So let me get my sentiment. That's what friends are for. I promise that's the last time. I promise I won't do it again. Maybe, maybe not. You're all welcome for that earworm. How many of you have it stuck in your head now? Be honest. Be honest. Okay. So this is going to go here. Put this over here. I wanted to put it someplace where you guys can see it. Donna, you know I love these mushrooms. Is the clear that you pulled up? Yes. So Tina, when the mushrooms were on the press and seal, I put pop dots, you know, foam adhesive on all of them, and then stuck it onto a card base, and then very carefully just peeled my press and seal off. Not press and steel. We're not stealing nothing. Okay. Let's see if that is straight. No, it's not. Okay. That's what friends are for. It was so hard not to sing it. Okay. Stamp our sentiment. This is a very little dainty, tiny stamp. I just want to make sure I don't bump it. We'll go again. Rainbow floating mushrooms. One more for good measure. There we go. Okay, let me get some foam on this. Oh, no problem, Tina. You know, if you have any questions or you need help, you feel free to message me anytime. Okay. And then our sentiment is going to go right there. Ta-da! And there we have it. So hopefully you guys can see that. And once you see those shadows from all the mushrooms, have you seen the Friends episode where Phoebe sing, "Hold me closer, Tony Danza"? Of course. Of course. That's awesome. Shannon, we were in the car with the kids the other night and we were listening to AC/DC and high voltage came on and my kids were singing something something not very nice on a roll. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. That is like one of my favorite things that cracks me up when like messing up song lyrics. Have you guys ever seen the lip sync? There's like a whole YouTube channel where they take like football videos and like real NFL football. They've taken presidential debates and they lip sync over them. It's hilarious. Darren, I feel like you would like the lip sync. It I'll look later and I'll send it to you because it's so funny. Yeah, we're big AC/DC fans. Actually, I always tease my son that he saw AC/DC in utero because I was pregnant with him and went to Giant Stadium to see AC/DC. But I had eighth row, so I was not letting it go. I had to go, pregnant belly and all. Okay, so very cute. Thank you, thank you. Just being honest. When Gina first. What, Tina? I missed that. I'm sorry. Um, what else? What else? You showed me that. So funny. Mushrooms are falling on my head. Was in my head. Thunderstruck. Oh, so good. They're amazing, right? Holy moly, they were so incredible. All right, guys. Enough of my yapping. Here you have the floating mushroom card. I'm just kind of wiggling that around so you can see the dimension and see everything floating on there. Isn't that cool? I hope you guys like this. Few techniques, a little time consuming, but definitely a cool effect. And the coolest, easiest thing is Chroma Mists with those images. I hope you guys try that because it's a great way to use Chroma Mist and get these awesome colored images because like I said, sometimes I don't always feel like just coloring in. So there you have it. So that's all I've got for you tonight. And that's what friends are for. So feel free to go on and sing that. Shining God, hold me closer, Tony Danza in my head, of course. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. That is so funny. I love it. Um, my kids have a couple of really funny ones. That's a fun thing. And okay, I'll tell you guys one last funny one. A few weeks ago, my son said to me, "Mom, I've got to tell you something, and I hope you don't get mad." He said, in church when we sing Amen, Amen." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, for the longest time, I thought they were saying almond." And I was like, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah, I thought it was almond." And I said, "Did you just think that Jesus was like like really liked nuts?" And he's like, "I don't know, I guess." So now the bad part of it is whenever we're in church and they sing amen, the two of us, like, we can't look at each other or we start giggling. So silly. Okay, that's enough of that. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. This has been really fun. Don't forget to check out the spring release. So much fun stuff, amazing stencils, awesome stamps. And we've got just a few more days of mushrooms and tea party and gnomes, and then March will bring something new. So that's super exciting. There's always something exciting going on in the Brutus Monroe world. So I will see you guys next time. Everybody have a lovely evening. Yes, we will all now be singing Amen, Donna. You guys have a great evening. Hold your Tony Danza closer, and I will see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.